Here's a really uncomfortable truth about success. Sometimes the person you celebrate the most is the first one you end up losing. It's this strange, quiet kind of grief. And, today we're going to figure out exactly why that happens. It's such a painful question because, let's be real, most of us have felt it. That slow, super confusing fade from someone you swore would be right there with you at the finish line. So, what is going on? I mean, it almost always starts like this, right? Two people grinding it out together in the trenches. And somehow it ends like this, with an empty chair where your friend used to be. The story of how you get from one picture to the other, well, that's what we're going to unpack. So let's go back to the beginning. Just for a second, think about that person, the one you feel like you lost to their own ambition. You remember the late nights, don't you? Just surrounded by stacks of work, the only light coming from a desk lamp, and just the glow of a shared dream. You were both so in it together. Oh, and the sheer amount of coffee you must have gone through. You weren't just staying awake, you were literally fueling each other's hope, absolutely convinced that all this effort, all this grind, was leading somewhere big. And that's really the crucial point, isn't it? It wasn't just their goal or your goal. It really felt like the goal, a future you were building side by side, brick by painful brick. And then boom, it happens. That one text, that one email, that one notification. Congratulations. All of a sudden, the dream is real. This is the exact moment you'd both been working for. But then, the silence starts. You call to celebrate, you call to catch up, and the phone just rings. And at first, you make excuses for them, right? Oh, they're just busy. But pretty soon, busy starts to feel a whole lot like gone. Okay, now here's where we really get to the core of it. The easy answer is to blame them, right? To just say they got arrogant. But what if it's something way more complex? What if they didn't just leave you, but were psychologically kind of forced to detach from the very world you built together? This brings us to our first really big, really idea, identity detachment. It's a super powerful psychological shift that happens when your whole environment changes way faster than your relationships can keep up. Think of it like this. The person who is grinding away in a dark room isn't the same person that's required to navigate a boardroom. So to survive in their new reality, they subconsciously start shedding the habits, the mindsets, and even the people that are associated with their old, struggling identity. You become a living reminder of a self they feel like they have to leave behind. And this picture just illustrates it perfectly. Their view is no longer a messy desk, it's a whole city skyline. Their problems aren't about making rent anymore. They're about managing massive expectations. The very language of their life has changed, and you might not be fluent anymore. But, there's another force at play here too. So we have this big internal shift happening, but it's made worse by something external. Let's call it social recalibration. This isn't just about what's going on inside their head. It's about the overwhelming flood of new stuff coming from the outside world. So when someone becomes successful, their social world just explodes. Suddenly, everybody wants a piece of them. They're getting bombarded with messages, invitations, opportunities. Their social bandwidth, which is finite for all of us, becomes completely overloaded. And they're forced to triage their relationships, not necessarily by who's most important, but often by who is most immediately relevant to their new world. So what's really fascinating here is that your text or your call, it's no longer a welcome interruption. It's now just one single drop in a massive tidal wave of notifications. You've gone from being a primary signal to just being part of the noise. And it's not personal. It's just bandwidth. Okay, so you have these two really powerful forces pushing them away, an internal identity shift and an external social flood. When you put them together, they don't just explain why your friend is being distant. They actually reveal a fundamental truth about what success really does to a person. Just let that sink in for a second. We think success creates a brand new person, but it doesn't. It's an accelerant. It doesn't build anything new. It just pours gasoline on the traits that were already there, both the good and the bad. And this is the core idea. The one thing to take away from all of this. Success does not change people. It reveals them. It simply gives them the platform and the permission to finally become who they were always going to be. Success is basically a mirror held up in a very, very bright light. The kindness, the insecurity, the loyalty, the selfishness, all of it was already there before. Success just removes the shadows. It takes away the social and the financial constraints that might have kept those traits in check. So, if we accept this, we really have to stop asking that old question. It's not about why did my friend change when they got that job or that award or that recognition. That's the wrong question. The real and much harder question is this: who were they becoming all along? And maybe more importantly, who were you becoming right there beside them back when the only light you had was the dream itself? That's the question that really explains everything.